What is up, players? It's Warboss Tay up in this mug. Welcome to my live stream. We're going to be hanging out, building some models, and painting, doing a little bit of painting, and just having a good time today. Okay, so here we go. I've got got everything like lined up like a regular show. This is crazy. So I've got the Marrow Scroll Herald here. We're going to be building this up first. It's a model for the Flesh Eater's Quartz. I just did an unboxing and a review of the Jerrion's Delegation boxed set, Vanguard for the Dawnbringers. And this is the only miniature that is not currently, it's the only miniature that wasn't one of the older range, like the Crypt Ghouls, the Crypt Horrors, and the Crypt Flayers. This is the special character that I remember they had made at the time, and everybody was talking about all of the new Flesh Eater Quartz leaders and characters, and then they just went crazy with this new wave that we've seen of their upcoming miniatures. So very excited to build these out. I actually am looking forward to building out a Flesh Eater's Quartz army. They're surprisingly simple to paint. They remind me of night goblins. There's a majority of them are of their body like surface is taken up by their skin, which is great because their skin is very simple to paint. You could even do it with contrast paints, but I've decided to go the traditional route. And when I paint up these Flesh Eater Quartz, I'm going to be painting them up with that sickly pale green color. So a little bit different from our boy Igor here, who I remember when I painted him up, I really wanted him to look like a creepy, like fleshy, like skin color, realistic skin color. And I'm going to be going with the more traditional route for painting up these Flesh Eater Quartz miniatures. All right, so welcome to the stream. Hope you're all having a wonderful day out there. It is freezing here in Northern California. It's going to be raining pretty heavily, and the little boy just went to sleep. The lady boss is tucked in tight. We'll see how long that lasts. Sometimes when my son has a nightmare and wakes up in the middle of the night, then all of a sudden I'm going to be torn away. But we'll see how far we can get. My plan today is build up this guy, then unbox one of the 3 boxes I got from Artel W Miniatures. I'm going to be doing unboxings of all 3 of these boxes as time progresses, but we're going to be starting tonight with this one, see what kind of goodies we have. I don't even know. There's like no label on it that I can decipher, just numbers. What do the numbers mean, Mason? What do the numbers mean? So I'm going to pop that open. We'll take a look at it. Maybe we can build it up, and then we're going to try to paint up a couple of these guys. I'm going to actually be doing a tutorial live, and we're going to be painting one up, Night Goblin. Old school Night Goblin on the old square bases, 20mm bases. Okay. So I hope you're all doing well out there. Like I said, it's pretty late in the evening for me, so forgive me if my voice is a little froggy. Let's get going. Marrow Scroll Herald. We're going to try to be as entertaining and as engaging as possible. So just looking at this model, looking at the sprue, no options, pretty simple. It looks like, if anything, getting the angles right is going to be what our main focus is on. All right, so grab whatever you're working on, and let's just do some hobbying together. Let's have a good time. Let's catch up. End of the year. We're going to be closing out 2023 pretty soon, and I just can't wait to get into the next year and see what 2024 has in store for us. Besides the old world. I'm really looking forward to that. The leak of the Khemri box was really interesting. I noticed that whoever took that picture of that old world Khemri army box got a really nice shot of the art, and the picture of the miniatures and the writing on the back of the box was very blurry. coincidence? Could it have been a controlled leak, maybe? Who knows? Who can say? I'm not going to be spreading conspiracy theories on this channel. We're just building up miniatures. Ain't that right, Igor? Oh, yes, Master. I'm very much looking forward to you putting together my wayward son, Jerrion. One thing I've noticed about the Crypt Ghouls, all of the Flesh Eater Quartz miniatures going back to the old Vampire Counts days when they were only ghouls, there's a lot of fiddly bits, little bones, pieces sticking out, strands of hair, even more so now with these newer miniatures, but that's good. I mean, I like the detail. I appreciate it. When you stand these guys up next to the old school ghouls, they do hold up pretty nicely. Okay, what are we doing here? See, I knew this is like all about the angles, getting the angles right, finding out where, when you're looking at the instructions, looking for the glue points is what you want to be doing. I don't know if this is supposed to be clipped off. There's this little peg here. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I think this is supposed to be clipped off. I always say that, and then it ends up being like a peg that is super important. I just clipped it off. Oh, good job, buddy. There, so the reason, the way you can see how this model goes together is look for the torso, the hunched over silhouette of the miniature. And the join is right where the loincloth meets that right leg there. I should have pressed it in and held it for a little bit longer. Sometimes it's hard to tell, man. And you can see where the join here in the back even better. I don't know if you guys can hear, but there is a pretty intense storm happening right now. After a very long dry period where there was no rain, now there's a very big storm. So that's good. I mean, they say, you know, you can always use some more rain. All right, what am I looking at here? The other leg. Could this miniature be too fiddly? Mayhaps. I don't know where this leg is supposed to go. Cheesy Pete. I should do the leg first, maybe. Oh, gosh. Okay. You can kind of see a little bit of a what that's supposed to be right there. I think. Looks like a puzzle piece, so I'm gonna just assume that it's up to me to figure out the angle. Is that it? That could be it. That could be it. Exciting edge of your seat. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Okay. Possibly. But now, how did this go? Having flashbacks of Lilith Hesprax right now. Oh, man. There. Guys, I'm about to chalk this up as a loss. Don't say that, Master. You mustn't give up. Please, my son is depending on you. There we go. All right. This live stream is getting off to a great start, guys. I can tell this is going to be a winner. I was, man, looking at Twitter, a lot of the social media sites out there, reading the room, gauging people's, I guess, feelings for the old world. For me, it's a chance to like reconnect to the miniatures and the game. Not so much the game, because I enjoyed Warhammer Fantasy when it was out, but for me, the old world is a chance for me to go back and enjoy painting the models that I grew up with. These little night goblins with spears. These little plastic night goblins with spears. These are the models that I first started painting when I got back into the hobby. And that Battle for Skull Pass was such a catalyst for me to decide, you know, I do enjoy playing the game, I enjoy rolling dice, but what I really want to do is get good at painting miniatures and to really enjoy that part of the hobby. That's what I wanted to do more than anything. And Battle for Skull Pass, getting back into the hobby, discovering YouTube and posting on YouTube, joining all these great communities and meeting all these great friends and forming connections with people all around the world, taking part in a lot of weird, wacky experiences. Like, remember that ALS challenge, dumping ice buckets of water on your head? And I was doing YouTube when I met my lady boss, and just the whole experience. I have so many memories, positive memories of the hobby being a part of my life, like a very integral part of my life as I was going through a lot of things, and just really having an enjoyable time. Now, where's this going? Good grief. Anyways, sharing that love of my hobby. Let's see if that's going to help a little bit. There we go. That might help. Got a little bit of a focus issue here. I might need to zoom back out just a little bit. All right. Okay. Maybe there's too many things for my camera to focus on. I have to figure out how this is going to go together. Yeah, this might be more frustrating than Lilith Hesprax, because look, you've got the angle of this thing here. It's facing this way, right? This looks like the angle of that picture. But then now we've got to turn the body so it looks like that to put on this big scythe thing. So it's gonna look like that. Maybe I gotta wait for this thing to dry, because the minute you start applying any kind of pressure to this miniature, I think it might start falling apart again. Okay, so you know what? Let's do this in increments. We'll let Jerrion, my wayward son, hang out here for a minute and dry. Then we'll get on to building that, and then we'll hopefully get to the end of this. We're almost there, Jerrion. Jerrion. Okay, want to clear the deck so we can make sure that we have a nice clear area for this next part. Artel W is, actually before we move on to Artel W, Jerrion Delegation. Let's wrap this up because I'm probably not gonna remember to do this when I come back. This is one of the Vanguard boxes in the Dawnbringers campaign, I guess you could say. And I did a review on it. You might have seen it. These are the models you get, right? You get 3 Crypt Ghouls that you could also build. You get 3 more as Crypt Flayers. Those are the guys with the wings. And you also get 20 Crypt Ghouls, the old school ghouls, not the new ones. I say that a lot, old school ghouls. In the past couple of videos, I caught myself saying that. That's interesting. And you also get Jerrion, my wayward son, right here. So of all these models, Jerrion is the only one in the new wave, right? And that might be why he's so fiddly to put together. All of these ghouls, I made a mention of this. Torso, legs, arms, and head. So easy. None of this weird like angles and craziness. And even like the Igors and the Crypt Flayers have a lot of extra fiddly bits, like the spikes and all of the extra parts on them. So if you want to pick up one of your own, get a good mixture of really old miniatures, newer miniatures, and the newest Age of Sigmar wave, then I've got a link down below in the description. It's going to take you to an Amazon vendor of which I'm an affiliate. Hopefully, depending on where you are in the world, it'll take you to a comparable one. But I was able to find one that is selling this for a little bit cheaper than you would be getting if you were to order direct from the source. So check it out, save you some money. If you're interested in collecting some Flesh Eater quartz, then it's a good way to go. All right, Artel W, a boutique, like really artist-centric company that produces fantastic sculpts of miniatures. For those of you who don't know, I have been fortunately accepted as a member of their affiliate program, but all of the miniatures I'm going to be showing you, I paid for on my own dime. I'm not getting any support from them to purchasing these miniatures. I believed in them so much when I found them on the website. I really said I want to get them and add them to my own collection. But if you do decide to purchase any of these and going to the link down below in the description, then I will be receiving a little bit of compensation for sending you there, sharing my affiliate link. So that would really be helping out my studio. Thanks for that. If you do check them out, I have no idea what's in this box. We're going to open it. It's a blind unboxing. It's got this paper, the wax seal. You saw I just cut the string connecting it. So let's go on an adventure. Let's open it together. Collectible miniatures, Artel W. All right, let's see what's in it. Woo! Exciting. It's like Christmas. All right, now one thing about Artel Miniatures is Artel W, they don't provide assembly instructions. You're gonna have to go to the website, take a look at them, at the products to see, like the product pictures have the instructions on them. Okay, what are we looking at? What could it possibly be? Bases, a lot of bases. And Looks like a squad, or maybe just a bunch of other figures packed into the same box. All right, let's bravely venture forward. Let's see what we're assembling here. I think this is the Voidborn, or the Dark Eldar equivalent. I think I see bodies that makes it look like they could be racks. If they're the racks, then I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to assemble them because they're just so, like, look at all these bits. Look at all these fiddly bits. Yeah, they look like the racks. I think I could see, like, the helmeted faces. I might have to do, like, a proper unboxing once I sort all of these miniatures and go through them. But look at the quality of the resin just through the bag. I'm always, whenever I look at Artel W pieces, I'm reminded of when Games Workshop did a little thing called Finecast. Yeah, these are the racks. You can see the stitched human flesh coat there. The Finecast experiment was, man, I have so many memories of, like, just praying. You know, because you go to your hobby store and you see the new whatever ogre executioner, right? And it comes in a closed clamshell pack with a Finecast frame. And you just pray. You take it home and you pray, please don't let there be any egregious holes, air bubbles, or bent swords or staffs. And most oftentimes, it was very disappointing. Okay, so let's pop one of these open, because I believe they are organized in such a way that we know these are going to be the heads, and looks like they come in individually wrapped. Yeah, you got some extra bits here. And then the good thing about Artel is that they package everything you need to build, like, the base of one of their figures. So this is a rack, and they're all different. They've all got their own, like, poses and direction, so they're not gonna look identical to each other. Oh ho ho! What the? What is going on there? All right, so this is the rack bag. Swords and weapons. Like, look at the quality of this resin. Like, able to get this fine detail on that pistol there with the fingers. It's one thing I always appreciate about Artel. Like, they're so good at sculpting the muscles in the skin, especially for something like Dark Eldar that are life and more, not as bulky, I guess you could say, as humans. Okay, let's pop one open. I believe this is also a female. I can see some lady bits on the torso. I wonder how much you can build without opening the extra bits bags. But definitely, for sure, this is the Voidborn racks. I got these in a bundle, so I'll just mention that also at the same time. I got these in a bundle, Masters and Puppets, so I was able to get, like, a bunch of the homunculus characters, as well as these. They came in it, and some of the grotesque stand-ins. Yeah, so it looks like there's so much weird and wacky stuff in here. Like, you can see, like, a little mandible coming out of the pinky of this gauntlet. So I can tell some of this is meant to be clipped away, like there. And shaved down a little bit, like there. But the quality of this resin is so nice. It feels really good, like smooth and clean, like sanded down. It doesn't feel as strong and sturdy as plastic, but you're able to see a lot of nice detail there. Yeah, so let's build up one of them, because I think I did a video on the racks. You could check it out in my video history of all the different kinds of sculpts and poses that they're going to come in. Oh, I just want to build one of them up. The trick with any of these Artel miniatures, like I said, is that you don't have a paper guide instructions. You're going to really be figuring it out and going to the website. Because some of them, they're not all posed the same, right? They're not, like, they've got direction, they've got movement, they've got a flow of motion. So dry fitting helps, I believe, but I think in the end, you're going to need to be looking at the website to make sure you know what you're doing. Okay, I'm using Zap-A-Gap super glue. And as always, I'm going to hit it with the Bob Smith super glue accelerator to give us a little bit of a speed up on the drying time. Half Man, I would love to see one build. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's build one up completely just to show how nice they look. Thanks for the comment, Half Man, because I'm really like shooting from the hip here. So it's good to see what other the people watching my streams want. How are you? How am I? I'm great. I'm fantastic. This is the first time that, oh shoot, I've got super glue on my finger. I'm flashing back PTSD trauma from when I first started doing this hobby and super gluing a bunch of night goblins together because I didn't know any better. You know what I should do? What was I saying? Yeah, I'm fine. I've got the baby to bed. The wife is sleeping peacefully. Everybody at my house is happy. The trick with using Bob Smith super glue accelerator, any kind of super glue accelerator, is that the minute I spray it, this leg is going to get completely attached to the torso here, but at the same time, it's going to quicken the drying time for the super glue on the crotch area where that front of the loincloth is going to go. So I got to make sure that my hand is clear, for one thing. I feel like such a noob. And then I might have to add a little bit more super glue drying time. All right, here we go. There's got to be a better system for this. All right. Oh, I wonder what Warbust is up to. He's just fumbling around, trying to assemble some resin figures with super glue. I've been spoiled with plastic glue, guys. You get some on your fingers, it's like not a big deal, but super glue is, oh yeah, that's what I remember about this hobby. Okay, so yeah, looking at the sculpt for the loincloth piece, you can see it's like connected by a belt on her waist right there. Like the detail on this is so good. Man. So all you have to do is find, look at that. That's like a perfect join right there. Yeah, so I think it's already a little bit too dry, so we're gonna add a drop more. Keep my fingers out of the way. Get that loincloth on. Wants to like set immediately because of the Bob Smith. I call it Bob Smith, but that's just the company because of the super glue accelerator. So I gotta find the peg that slips into the gap, and then just, oh, I don't have to hold the leg anymore. That's right. I've seriously, Half Man, if you check the link on my in the video description, go over to the Artel W site and look at the Masters and Puppets bundle, or just the the Voidborn. I think they're called like Infernal racks or something. But they look just like, you know, obviously they're taking the cues off of the Games Workshop racks and building these like horror, what are those things called from the Hellraiser movies? They look just like that. Like weird nightmare creations with drugs pumping into them, and just like, there's such great sculpts. I wanted to get these in time for Halloween, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get the shipment in time, but that's okay, because good things come to those who wait. I'm gonna have to clean this just a minute. Sorry guys, kind of doing some work off screen so I could hold it up to my face. All right, back at it, trying to save my fingers. Jeez, I think I might have either put too much super glue or too much accelerator right on this one spot. Let me see if I can shape it down so the join isn't as, I don't have to press it on as much. If you've never worked with resin before, a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to buy any of that stuff because I don't work with resin a lot. I work with plastic more, or the old Warhammer metal models. Do they sell the STL files? I don't know if they do. That's a good question. If you're a 3D printer, if you've got 3D printing technology, then I don't know if Artel sells the files. I know a lot of other companies sell the files and the rights for them, like Lost Kingdom, Highland Miniatures. Can't remember which one, but the Jeez, this is so anticlimactic. Hold on, let me see if I can. I'm gonna hold it up to my face, so I'm gonna take it off of the camera for a second, and I'm gonna spray it right here. Sorry guys, I know, exciting, really great live stream right here. Give me 1 second. I had such great expectations for today's show. I kind of butchered it. I mean, you could see for a second if you go back that there was a really great fit, and I think I got too much super glue on it, but you could still kind of see where that is meant to go. And you know what, just for funsies, let's clip off the extra flash on our feet. I was always curious about 3D printing. I remember when I bought this huge box of Deathcore of Krieg a couple years ago. Commissar Bane came in. Giant box. I know the guy who sold it to me did some 3D printing on a bunch of those models, and it was very revolutionary at the time. And a lot of it was very, like, not good. But the way it is now, like, you could just, you know, buy a printer off of Amazon and just watch all these YouTube videos, figure it out, and get the right resin, do it correct. I think you really got to get the right, get the right, like, ratio and formulas down so that you can have a quality product. Because boy, I've ordered some stuff off of Etsy from 3D printers that look and feel like terrible, like dollar store quality. And I've bought some other stuff that is very nicely detailed. Yeah, but the dollar store quality stuff is like no detail, no like the resin itself feels like spongy. Oh man, what a waste of money. You can't really tell, you know, because they show you the pictures on Etsy. The product pages look great, the 3D images of what they're supposed to look like. and then you get rubbish. I built some racks for the Dark Eldar back in the day when they came out, and I remember thinking, oh, they're okay, but they're very bland in the posing. There's not much going on with the poses. And the fact that these are so different and they all look really good, I really like it. Here, let's put her up on this so you can see her a little bit better. It's funny, they've got the upper arm and the lower arm sculpt. So, like, if I was a smart guy, I would be, oh man, look at these spikes. Look at the detail on those spikes. That's just really good. There's a lot of little flash here, which is perfectly fine. What that means is that I'm gonna need to figure out where all of these go. I think this arm goes like that. Yeah, buying the miniatures from Artel W in the bundle is so great because you get just a variety, and you're paying in the bundle. I think you're saving yourself some money. And also Artel W, if you haven't seen all of my videos where I'm talking about them, they offer free shipping if you order over a certain amount, and then you get like a blanket discount over your entire order if you order over, I think it's like $300, which if you're getting a bunch of these is very easy to hit that mark. Okay, so now I gotta decide, is her arm going back? Aha. Or is this her left arm? I know everybody's getting excited for the old world, digging through their collections. I was so bummed out with all of the rebasing, having to rebase your entire army and your entire collection talk, that it was very discouraging. And then I saw other people saying like, oh, they'll be releasing ways for you to rebase your army, or they're going to have movement trays, or like people are talking about different ways that Games Workshop is going to be making it easier, right? To come on, I can't and focus on what's happening right here. Maybe I got to get my light better. And I think that is going to be a huge way they're going to save people some, if they make it more accessible to people who already have miniatures. Like I'm looking at like a horde of night goblins in front of me right now, but if the only way I'm going to be able to play with them in the old world is if I have to like tear them off their bases and give them bigger infantry bases to stand on, then that's not fun. I've been watching your videos since you painted Lizardman Old Blood. Oh, that was years ago. Some time ago now. Love to watch your stuff while hobbying. Thanks, Halfman. Man, I appreciate that. It's crazy. Every time I connect with somebody who's seen my videos before, it's always a trip to see like, oh, how did you find my videos? It's something I'm always interested in learning, because everybody finds each other here on YouTube in you know, different ways, right? You're searching for something and it leads you down this whole rabbit hole of finding other related videos, and that's really cool, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna be like a mad scientist and not consult the build guide for this one rack. I'm gonna go with my gut and see where that takes me, because I'm now at this point, I'm just posing, yeah, there it is. I'm looking for the way that this is gonna fit to look the most artistic and posing her accordingly. How did I just have her, this arm? There, like that, I think. They make the pegs so they'll fit the slots just so. So it really is kind of intuitive. The trouble is like finding the right angle. There we go. Because when you find the right angle, it just like fits. It just matches. I'm sorry. Igor, focus the camera. Sorry, master. This newfangled technology. It's an iPhone. It's got autofocus. Don't yell at me. Sorry. What was I saying? The angle of this arm going in right there, if you angled the arm correctly, you're not going to see the peg. It's going to mask the join. It's going to look completely natural. And like, that's what you want, right? You want to kind of hide where that join is. Beautiful. And look at that too. That's such a great sculpt. Oh, she's walking forward. She looks great. Oh, man. Now, I believe this one is going to go, yeah, that looks like the triangle, so that's going to go here. The thing I love about the Artel W Voidborn Master and Puppets, because they've got the Dark Eldar, like the witches, right? The athletic, acrobatic, scantily clad witches and arena gladiator models. But these, like the racks and the grotesques and the weird experimentation, the robot spider legs and all the crazy stuff that they've got, that's just as interesting to me. As a collector, I think having both of that, the beautiful aesthetics, the artistry of like the Lilith Hesprax model spinning and twirling around an orc that she's just cutting and slicing and dicing up, is just as beautiful as seeing these weird amalgamations of like flesh and robotics and weird like H.R. Geiger art. It's all like the fact that you can have an army that has both of that. I wish Games Workshop would lean into more for Drukhari players. Right now I feel like their witch sculpts are a little too bulky and too like muscular and not like as graceful and like aesthetically interesting looking. All right. Then maybe we can even get down to equipping her. Oh, that's interesting. So I just realized that this gauntlet, I think it's supposed to go, yeah, it's got a triangle, so it's supposed to go here on the left arm But yeah, let's give her some weapons. I don't even know what racks are armed with. Let's separate because we've got heads here. We've got weird little growths and appendages. Oh yes, the extra appendages bag. Ooh, fun. Okay, then we've got body, and body. So yeah, the rest of these are other racks, and I think I see the character one because there's like a piece of rock that it's gonna be standing on. But we'll build the rest of those out. I think I'm gonna have to build those out on my own because it's just so finicky here. But look, we've got weapons, we've got heads, and weird appendages. So yeah, that's what these little sockets are on her back. Extra appendages. So gross, so creepy, so amazing. What kind of a face should we give her? I think too, some of these have things. Oh, what is this? I don't even know what this is. What I love about these racks is that they've got like bandages wrapped around their torsos, the females. They've got these spiky armor plates at the same time. So it's a mixture of a bunch of different things. What is this? Okay, so I think they all get these extra back vent things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's see how many different heads there are. Oh, 6. Yeah, there might be 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's 6. Let's find a suitably creepy mask for our girl here. Weird. Yeah, I love this. Look at this. Best kind of bag. Hey, Lynx Lord, what's going on? Look at that. Spiky mask. So weird, so gross, so creepy. Cenobite, that's what they're called. Cenobites. Hellraiser. Ah, okay. We're gonna give her a spiky head. For the thumbnail, I put the picture of Commissar Kane and Jerrion for the Artel W part of this video because I had no idea, oh my gosh, what I was gonna find. Look at that. You know, it's funny, my son says that now. He says it in that voice. Daddy, look at that. And I think it's because I say that in my videos. Oh gosh. It's turning out just like his dad. I believe it looks like this. Look at the vertebrae on this backpack thing. That's so weird and creepy and gross. But I believe it is like that. Yeah, because it connects to the spine. The spine is right there. And then the spine tapers off down into like a weird little, a little tailbone thing. So I don't think the vents are up, the vents are down. You guys ever have to dissect frogs when you're in high school? Like I imagine this is what that was like. Putting things together, taking things apart, reconfiguring them. Yeah, see, because these vents are supposed to be coming out from these little weird little holes there. Perfect. I love this face, or like this pose. Everything about this rack is really amazing. What should we give her? What kind of weapon should we give her? I think a sword in the right hand, like a melee weapon. Melee. And a gun. Yeah, but these days it is considered animal abuse. Nasty Huggy. We did it with earthworms. Oh, yeah. I never did in my high school. I think it was like an optional thing. You could choose to do the dissecting, or you could choose to like write a paper on the universe or something. I always thought it was yeah, it's so strange. Like, the whole dissecting the frog thing. That's pretty cool too. I don't know what this is, but that's a pretty great weapon. This looks like a rifle. This either a sword or a sickle in her right hand, I think is going to be really good. Why does it look like she's holding this like upside down? These weapons are amazing. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's terrific. The fact that they've got these Dark Eldar looking weapons that look weird and like they're grown in a vat, but they've all got the signature Eldar like soulstone gem up here. I think is a great touch, but the rest of it looks like it could be made out of like bone or some weird metal, some kind of Nito shooting gun with pain-based stimulants. Yeah, I remember. Do you guys remember when the Dark Eldar came out in 2000, 2008, 2009? When they came out, and the fluff of that book was just fantastic and amazing. The artwork was terrific. I feel like a lot of the I want to say like mature, but a lot of the themes of what made like Chaos and Dark Eldar and a lot of the armies so interesting, those themes have to be watered down, because they're like, guys, come on, we're selling to kids here. We want the kids to tell their mommies to buy them the little plastic men. Take out all this weird stuff. Oh, come on. I hit it with the Bob Smith. Yeah? Oh, man, she's great. Liquefier gun. There we go. Drukhari are a crazy concept. Yep. Are they supposed to be racks? Yes, they are, Lynx Lord. These are the Artel W like rack alternatives that I got from Artel W Miniatures. I remember I paid full price for them, but then I did the breakdown. Once you order, over a certain amount, you get a big discount. I did it at the time they were doing their fall sale, so that was like another like big discount across the board. It was like 15% or something. So I saved like $100 off of I think 3 homunculuses that look way better than Games Workshop's ones, and these racks, 6 of them. And then I think 3 grotesques. I can't wait to dive into all of the rest of this box kit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish building her up to show everybody who checks out this live stream later what they look like, an example of one that looks like, she already looks so much better than the racks that you can get from Games Workshop. And then I'm going to build the rest of the squad tomorrow for the live stream, or the next time I'm able to get back online. I'll show them off, because I had a fun time painting the racks, but they were so static and they were so identical, the Games Workshop racks, when they were in, I think I painted the metal ones or fine cast, I don't remember, but these are so much nicer and they're better looking. They're really amazing. I gotta find a left hand. She needs a weapon in her left hand. These are all right hand weapons. Can't give her twin melee weapons, can I? right, let's find all the pew pews. That's a right hand. That's a right hand. Yeah, the rifle is a right hand. Holy cow, where are all the left hands? Right hand. I might have to give her, yeah, like a double. Can Rax have 2 melee weapons? Are they telling me, is that how it's got to be? If so, then I'm gonna. The fact you can leave stuff be after you have received them, remarkable. I have to start right away. Yeah, I got these boxes from Artel W like right after Halloween, and I think I was doing a bunch of like Artel Miniatures, like Artel W promotional videos because I was so excited to get into them, you know, to get started. And I got it like right after Thanksgiving, and then they've just been sitting here. And now is when I'm gonna really dive into them. Like, I don't know if you guys can see here. Let me back up so you can focus on these a little bit. The weird little joins, the robot like spider joins in the metal. I think it looks like this is her gauntlet, so she should have just like fingers wrapped around something. So this is like a mystery to me because these are the heads and the backpacks. I wonder if her left hand is in this gribbly bit bag. She should just have like fingers, I think. Maybe you know what? Maybe I have to check the Artel W website. Oh no, here it is. Did I think it was just like flash and throw it away? Yeah, she's got a robot hand. You guys, she's got a robot hand. Oh man, I don't think I'm that tired. I feel like I've got a reasonable amount of excitement to find. I was looking for a weapon, but she's got robot fingers. Guys, that is just fantastic. That is so cool. Because yeah, this is a weird looking gauntlet. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do some surgery here because there's a little hole right there that the peg is gonna go into. Tricky thing is I don't want to gum it up with the with super glue. So I wonder if there's a way that I can. I'm not very good with like tweezers. Is the words I'm trying to get out of my mouth. I was very bad at emergency or operation when I was a kid. And I feel like I've just gotten more clumsy as I've gotten older. So let's dry fit it because there's no way that I could. Okay. See, this whole thing would have been avoided. This whole mess would have been avoided if I just like looked at the Artel W website. But then again, I didn't know what I was getting in this box. I thought it was going to be Commissar Kane and Jerrion. Cyborg Rax. That's a new concept. Are those fingers? They are. Yep. I really think these fingers are scalpels. Because each of the fingers looks like sharp. Like knives. They're so fiddly, guys. I'm afraid of snapping them. Yeah, and look, I think the pinky and the ring finger are like serrated. Oh yeah, the pointer finger. The back of the pointer finger is serrated like a bread knife. And then the bottoms of the ring and the pinky finger are serrated. You can't really see it, but you know what? I'm going to get this in place. And then I'm going to take a lot of pictures. And I'm going to show them off on the Discord because I think that's where you'll really be able to see them and like get in close to this detail. I wish I had some good quality tweezers out. Apologize, guys, for the blurry picture if you're following along, but I'm telling you, as soon as I get these fingers situated, it's weird too because the fingers are like this. This is the pose that they're in. So we're can't believe I just hit an hour with this live stream. So we're trying to get the right angle. I wonder if I can slide it in and then rotate it around. That sounds like a plan. I've got these tweezers too, but I don't, or these clippers, but I don't want to clip it. I feel like a brain surgeon. How do you guys do, how do you do this, like, really fine detail work? Obviously, I can't shoot that super glue activator yet. I get the peg into the hole, but it's right there. It's like the blessing and the curse. Like Games Workshop would never do detailed like finger scalpels like this. It's just too fiddly. But at the same time, they look so amazing. Ah, foiled. There we go. Wonder if I can turn her wrist so that, yeah, okay, because there's a thumb. I thought it was like a weird little insect appendage right here, like a mandible, but it was her thumb of her scalpel cyborg fingers. So okay, my thought was I'll just leave it at this angle and make it look like she's gesturing with her fingers, doing like the come here gesture, but I can't do that because her thumb is over here on this angle. I hear myself like clipping the resin, trying not to break it. All right, come on. Why don't you go into your home? Are you too good for your home? Oh shoot, did I? Oh no, I think I snapped her pointer finger off by accident. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Let me put this up to my face. Oh, that's disappointing. I think I did. Where is it? If I can find it, maybe I can glue it back on. My lady boss says I need another green mat. She's like, anyone watching your video is gonna think that you're like a serial killer. I told her, babe, most people have very messy hobby spaces. Ah, that's a bummer. Okay, so in my excitement, I snapped her finger scalpel off. And it's so small and fine. I don't know if I can find it on my serial killer mat here. I really wanted to get the positioning right. Super glue's starting to dry though. Yeah, let's see if I can. This is a labor of love, guys. Thank you for bearing with me, hanging out. I appreciate the moral support. As soon as we're done with these finger scalpels, I'm gonna get onto the crazy appendages because I think that's the most fun. I could always make it look like she's got 4 fingers. As it is, she's just got like a thumb and 3 fingers and a little finger. Sansa. I love you, Sansa. Isn't it funny that like Game of Thrones was, I think universally, I don't know of anybody who thought the last maybe 2 or even 3 seasons were any good. And now, like the fact that at this point in history, like if you fail at something so spectacularly that you were doing so well at, it's become like almost a joke that, oh no, you Game of Thrones did. I think my problem too is I've got, I don't have a thin enough applicator for the super glue. So it's just really pouring out of there. I need one of those little, I need scalpel fingers, Jeezy Pete's. All right, she's gonna have a funky hand with funky robot fingers. I tried, guys. I tried. All right, those fingers, you got this. We all have struggled with some fiddly bits. Oh, I know, man. It's part of the blood, sweat, and tears we put into the hobby. I have a free folk army. Oh, for the Song of Ice and Fire game? I actually have, I'm sitting like right under this very table as we speak is the starter set for the A Song of Ice and Fire strategy miniatures game. And I remember watching a lot of videos when they first came out because they were talking about, oh yeah, you could have an army from any house you want and all these characters are going to be in it. And I really wish it had taken off more. Oh, look, I think I got it. All right, hit it with the Bob Smith before it slips out of place. Boop. And I like the Song of Ice and Fire isn't all just like war on the field, right? You had the political game as well, the Game of Thrones. And so you could have the non-physically gifted combat powerhouses doing Game of Thrones shenanigans behind the scenes. Yeah, it was very cool. I've never played it. I've always wanted to paint it. I wish there was more interest in it. My local game store had a whole wall of Song of Ice and Fire, like House Stark, House Lannister, like divided up by the houses. And then, yeah, one day it just wasn't selling, so they had to like move it and shrink it down. And it's always sad when you see a game that you hope will succeed end up being pushed to the back. All right, let's look at some funky appendages, because we love our girl so much, and because I feel so bad that she lost her scalpel finger, I want to give her something special. How about a weird fleshy appendage with a claw on it? Oh, so gross, so weird. And like little vials of drugs. I think that's what these are. Is that a skull too? Yeah, there's a skull on this thing. Gee, I'm not sure what you're talking about. It has a huge scene. Oh, okay, that's good. You guys plan on playing some fantasy once the old world releases next year? I am. At least I'm planning on painting some fantasy. I was lucky enough to get a donation of some night goblins, and I'm still working on my Grail Relique. I've got my giant and my Steampunk, my metal boys. So yeah, definitely want to paint them up and hopefully play some games. Yeah, Song of Ice and Fire in my area is not it didn't take off. So I'm glad to see that it's doing well in other places, because it just makes me wish that I lived there. That I didn't live where I live, where nobody plays anything but 40K. I picked up this Jerrion's Delegation, and the cashier was like, oh, you play? And I had to say, oh, not really, but I'm really into painting. I've got a YouTube channel. And he was like, oh, you should play 40K. That's where it's at. I wonder if I should make her like a head collector and just have a couple of, oh, these are so weird. They're like insect, like fleshy little appendages. I think I'm gonna make her a head taker. I want to find the best looking pieces for her though. Yeah. Let's do that one with the faces looking kind of forward. We'll clip off this. I really intended for this part to be a lot shorter. Oh yeah, Lynx Lord. Yeah, I know you got your doors ready to go. He's like fluent in Dwarvish. Love the stout folk, rockin' stone. Yeah, I also got a donation of the Battle for Skull Pass Dwarves. They're still on the sprue, but I really want to paint those up, because I loved painting up my Battle for Skull Pass. The miners were so good. I never had a chance to like buy a box of the plastic miners, but the standard with the little cage with the goblin in it is so hilarious. All right, what else can we use? So yeah, maybe we'll do one weird appendage like that, and then I'll do like a little, just a hand. Oh no! Oh no! Where did it go? It's the one thing working in the garage. You drop something and it goes into the abyss, and you never find it again. sacrifice to the god, the garage god. Yeah, those are the other half, the goblins. First fantasy army used to be lizardmen. I have those, vampire counts, Bretonians, and dwarves. Yeah, I'm sure they will. I think they're planning on re-releasing a whole bunch of the old fantasy stuff. They've got to. I mean, like the old fantasy, like the core units. I think they've really like that's how they're gonna make the game survive and thrive, I think. Remind people like how to build up a good foundation of infantry armies and what made the army so popular and strong. All right, that's gonna do it. Look at that, guys. Oh, she's terrific. I think, let me see if I can just a little bit on her without blurring out too much. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take pictures because she's just not doing it justice. I gotta find that other little appendage for her. But yeah, you get in the Rax kit, you get 6 of these, and they're all different poses. Some of them are walking forward like she is. Some of them are more like planted and feet planted. And I just love everything about this kit. So check it out. Use the link down below in the video to get to the Artel website, and this is the Rax kit, but I got it in the big bundle, the Masters and Puppets bundle. So you got the homunculus. There's like a Uriel Rakarth like alternative where he's on this weird spider throne. It's just amazing. It's fantastic. I love it. All right. Thanks for, yeah, no problem, Halfman. What I want to do is go off and build the rest of the Rax squad and just line them up. So look forward to that, because that's, if I could find that stupid little like insect part that fell down. Like look at these heads. The masks, the iron masks, the grills, weird like iron masks covering the faces. They're just really great. And then the funky backpacks. So I joined the Drukhari Discord so that I could see who else got these Artel W sculpts and to just show them off and try to put some painted ones up there. And I showed off the witches that I had painted and the Lilith Hesperax miniature that I painted. And everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people who were there were like, I don't think the witch elves or the witches would be like jumping around like that half naked, so that the Imperial Guard would be like ogling them. It's like they're all about the murder and stuff, but they're not gonna be all half naked with all of their parts hanging around. And they're like, that's all Artel W is good for, like sculpting naked, half naked elves and lots of floppy female bits. And I was like, no ways, man. Like, their stuff is really good. They've got some chaos and orcs. I love their orcs. I got this, I've got the orc commando kit and tank buster kit that I can't wait to show you guys, because that's stuff that I ordered as well. Their Eldar stuff is really good too. They did striking scorpions that look like the Predator. There's one where there's the striking scorpion exarch like crouched on a piece of like the corner of a building, and he's holding up an Imperial Guardsman by the neck, and he's dangling him over the edge. Ah, it looks terrific. And there's another one where he's like ripped out a skull and a spine, like Predator, and he's holding it up. And it's a striking scorpion. He's got the helmet and the mask, but I think it's because they got the dreadlocks. I always thought it was strange that the striking scorpions have the dreadlocks. Oh, isn't Games Workshop doing like a kill team with striking scorpions, with new plastic striking scorpion sculpts? I think they are, right? All right, beautiful, beautiful rack from Artel W Miniatures. Talking about the model, and I can't wait to build the rest of them. Okay, let's see now if Jerrion is ready to continue getting built up. I had to stop because I was not getting the angles correct, and when I was trying to push this guy together, the pieces just kept falling apart because the plastic glue hadn't set yet. So I wanted to give some time to let it set. Now that we're back, we can see if I can figure out how this works. What are the angles to this one? I feel like this is, oh man, this is impossible. Maybe I wonder if maybe I can go with, go out of order in assembling this guy. Yep, that's part of the Drukhari thing. But nobody in the Discord that I was interacting with, maybe people did agree with me. I was talking to this with Blue Cloud Andrew the last time, who was like saying the same thing because he's a Drukhari collector, and he was like, absolutely, the Drukhari would be bouncing around and distracting the Imperium, and like their whole thing is hedonism and showing off and like living in excess. And I tried to explain that to these individuals, but they were like, no, they wouldn't be dancing around half naked. I was like, bro, do you not read any of the fluff? I don't want to dog on anyone in case, like, you know, they're listening or whatever. The walls have ears. This is the weirdest, yeah, that's right, they did birth Slanesh. This is the weirdest. How is this supposed to... This A2 piece is really messing me up. Okay, and then that goes there. Okay. So here we are. Gotta put this big scythe thing. This part is supposed to connect like across the front. What am I even looking at? What is this thing here in the center? Oh, is it coming from this side? Is this what it is? It's coming like... This is dumb. This is Lilith Hesperak's levels of poor design. This is, you know what, guys, this is probably why Games Workshop doesn't send me free models. I called it like I see it. I'm probably just doing it wrong. I'm not doing it right. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. He's facing this way. Might be a woke scare. They're lost. They are lovely models. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think somebody even made a meme or like a collage of all the Artel models that have big, busty women. And they're like, oh, look how talented Artel W Miniatures is. I'm like, guys, like, you got to look at their entire catalog. They're obviously leaning into big, busty Dami mommies because that's what the Drukhari witches are all about. But like, take a look at the Eldar stuff or the orcs. The way they sculpt orcs and the musculature on the orcs is like phenomenal. I guess I think there's no pleasing some people though. I'm pretty sure there's some angle that I'm not quite figuring out yet. I have to consult the ancestor spirits. All right. That's his hand. The weapon's leaning on his shoulder. But the angle of his body, the angle of the sight it's up a little bit. So it's like this. I don't know where it's supposed to go. It's up like this, like a little bit tilted upwards, right? I swear, Lilith Hesperax levels. Oh, could this be it? Maybe this is it. Yeah. Maybe this is it. Famous last words. I got it. I figured it out. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not even going to dry fit that. Because I don't know where everything is supposed to join together. Okay. All right. So if you do decide to get this miniature, then the join you can see from behind looks like the puzzle piece. That's what I always look for. What's the puzzle piece component of the two parts that you're trying to put together? Get that in place before it starts playing tricks on me and makes me second guess what I did. You might need a degree for this one. I know. Personally, I'm not a fan of Artel style, but the models are fine. Yeah, you know, it all comes down to like style. Raging Heroes, I really liked for a while, but then when I was getting more into the aesthetic of the grimdark and the more like realism, Raging Heroes is really into like the pinup look of big busty women. So yeah, it all depends on what your preference is. Like, what is your tolerance for models that are supposed to represent a certain thing? Like this is going to represent a unit of racks, obviously, when I build and paint them all up, and they aesthetically fit what Games Workshop already has produced. So that's what I like about Artel's stuff. Like they want their miniatures to be played on the table alongside all of your Games Workshop stuff. They're just offering you something. Like if you look at their grotesques, they look so terrific. They look like they look really, really good. And I think it's brilliant that they designed grotesques, because Games Workshop, once they came out with that one grotesque model, the one that looks like a weird like dancing, is like twisted at the waist, like it's doing a dance move, or it's a quarterback running down the field. Like that's all they did. That's all they developed. They didn't design or sculpt any other grotesque models, and that's always made me like cringe that you have this great opportunity to make more money, and they just kind of abandoned it. Like the Talos Paint engine or the Kronos engine, like I don't see those very much anymore on the field or in stores. Yeah, it's like impossible to find them on eBay or anywhere. Things are so much simpler when it was like torso, legs, 2 arms, and a head. Even with character models. Do you guys remember when was the first time it started drifting towards more like monopose? Weird angles, gotta fit them right. It was Dark Vengeance, the starter. The Chaos Chosen models. the one with the lightning claws, was like the head and the 2 lightning claws attached, and then like the rest of the body. And I remember reading the assembly guide and thinking, what the heck is this? I'm supposed to cut off these pieces and like layer them on top of each other like a sandwich? Like, this isn't how you build miniatures. A4 and A6. The back. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but you can't even get the GW growth test for GW. Yeah, that's right. Only natural someone will jump on our... If you're gonna have miniatures like and rules for those miniatures, why don't you offer them on in your store? Like, it boggles my mind that they have in the fiction and in the lore, in the story component of the game, you have these creatures that have their own rules and special rules and stats, and you can't even buy them from the company that makes that game and makes the rules for that product. There you go. So my son, one of the ways we get him to fall asleep, they said you shouldn't play TV for your kid before bedtime. And that's something we had been in a bad habit of doing. He'll cry. He wants to watch his Winnie the Pooh and his Donald Duck before bed, but it's just too crazy, right? It's too frenetic. It's too much cartoony stuff. So my wife, the lady boss, read somewhere that you should be playing very calming programming. And one of the things that was suggested was Bob Ross. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. So we've been watching a lot of Bob Ross to help my son fall asleep instead of his crazy cartoons. And I just reminded when I watch those old Bob Ross episodes, like how brilliant that guy was, and how good he made you feel when you're watching him. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a rare ability where you don't even care what he's painting. Like, you just want to go and be there while he's creating art, and you want to experience it. And it's like such a healing and rejuvenating experience. And tonight, I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a long live stream with you guys, because I really missed being a part of the creative process and putting things together and painting and clipping parts out and unboxing things and experiencing that joy of discovery. That's what it is, right? It's a joy of discovery, taking something like a blank canvas, for in Bob Ross's case, and in our case, like these blank empty bases, and then putting little bits of plastic together and then slapping some paint on them. What a great legacy to leave behind, yeah? Sounding ungular short. Yeah. I think if the great thing about YouTube, as long as I don't get my channel banned and taken away, the videos that I've made here will live on as long as YouTube is, a thing. And in case some like, if all the videos that I made, like on my flip camera 13 years ago, they're all gone. Poof. I didn't save any of that. And even my newer stuff, I don't have saved to a hard drive or anything. So if YouTube ever goes away, or if like I said, if I get my channel banned or taken away from me, and I lose all of my work. It's like 13 years of posting, and how many hours that I've spent building and painting models. And I look at that, and the result isn't that I've lost all this time or that I spent all this time just painting little plastic things, but it's like I take my what I take away from this hobby and from posting on YouTube is connecting with people like Michael Mati, who lives a world away from me, or back in the day when I used to talk to Ringo Simpkins or Jam Jar or Old Git, like girl painting, you know, people that are on the opposite end of the globe from you. Just now, like, we're chatting with each other. You guys are typing in the chat, and we're having conversations, and I'm building this thing that's like getting on my nerve like crazy, but we're having a good time, and that's captured like lightning in a bottle, so that anybody who comes and watches this after the fact is going to be able to secondhand get that experience of like camaraderie. And I think that's what this hobby is too. That's why it's so great, right? You go into the hobby store, and then you see people playing and rolling dice and having a great time, and like creating memories and laughing at whoever like rolled all the ones, and all the crazy experiences. And those are the memories you remember like long after. So now I have to get through a bunch of ghouls. Okay, so the ghouls and the Vargeists, or they're not Vargeists anymore, they're Crypt Flayers. Videos away because of the calm voice, light subjects, and focus on detail. Thanks, Halfman. Oh, you're from Belgium. Yes, big distance. California to Belgium. Big distance. I figured that most people who chat with me in this are either like night owls, because right now it's like 4 o'clock in the morning where I am, or you're in Europe because there's a 7-hour difference ahead. So yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Anyways, getting off of the philosophical and back to, I just noticed this. This is weird. This is creepy. Is this actual scenery that they sell? This is weird. I am not going to, just like I'm not going to build the rest of the racks on camera, I will, however, take note of any interesting developments that come about, like the fingers on the hands. If I come upon something like that in the rest of the build of my racks unit, I'll let you guys know. But I'm going to build the rest of these because you've already seen me build Igor, and I think I built some Crypt Flayers back in the day, and ghouls. I'm going to try to do that as much as I can off camera, and we'll come back. And what I want to do is show the entire Jerrion's Delegation, because seeing them here painted up, posed on Games Workshop scenery is one thing, but I haven't seen. Here's an interesting thing. I wonder if there's like a content creator burnout, because I haven't seen too many people on Twitter posting like early pre-release miniatures. You know what I mean? When 10th edition was coming out, all of a sudden all these content creators were like, hey guys, thanks to Warhammer for sending me the free models. This is how I painted them up. I haven't seen too much of that lately, so I wonder if there's a little bit of a burnout, or there's just so much coming out. You've got the new epic stuff, the old world. There's so many kits coming out. They will be meat piles when my axe. So what I want to do is actually show the models built up, because I have seen people who've gotten these miniatures from Games Workshop, and they're like, hey, thanks Games Workshop for sending me the review copy. But I haven't seen anybody actually like showing off the models built up. I have seen a couple people doing like painting tutorials. There are a couple of great painting tutorials for the new models, but I'm not seeing a lot of people actually showing the amount of plastic you get. So I want to really build up all of the miniatures. I want to line them up on the table, show you this is what you get in Jerrion's Delegation when you're all built up, and this is how much stuff you have left on your sprue that you can use for other miniatures or other projects. I think that's going to be pretty interesting. All right, I think what I want to do, hour 40 already. Holy moly. What I would like to do, because I've got Linkslord here, my good dwarf friend, what I want to do is paint up a night goblin. Are they focused on Epic? In the picture, they're... You mean, are they focused here in the picture? Oh, you know what this is? Somebody took... I think this is the corpse pile from the corpse cart. No? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe these are the old school zombies. I don't know if this is like an actual scenery piece or if this is something that they made. But it looks like they just took the corpse pile and they stuck it on, like, to make it look like the leaves of a tree. There's a lot of undead stuff. Their scenery and terrain people, they're really good. All right, what I would like to do now is change it up. We got a ghoul, we got a rack, we got a whole bag full of racks. And what I want to do next is, yeah, like I said, I want to paint up a night goblin. Night goblins were my first miniatures that I tried to get good with after I came back from my my hiatus away from the hobby. Oh, you're painting doors at the minute? I actually thought of spraying, like priming and clipping out and doing some of the Battle for Skull Pass dwarves, but I didn't get a chance to do that. So maybe, see, I don't even know if I want to put them on the bigger old world 25mm bases, or if I want to keep them like true to, I don't even know if I can find 20mm bases, because aren't these 20s, Linkslord? 20mm, right? Or are the doors on 25s? I don't remember. Pretty sure 20, because orcs were 25s. They always felt like a little big, a little bit too big. A little big is an oxymoron. Time for grob cool. 20mm. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. So because night goblins were the first miniatures that I painted after coming back from my painting hiatus, I thought, since it's been so long since I've actually done any painting, it might be fun to do a night goblin. Wrist Taylor Wallbang up in this mud. Welcome, welcome. Let me see if I can work on the blurriness here. Oh, there's a manual focus. All right, guys, I'm trying to mess with the settings so it's not as blurry. It's easier to look at. Wonder if it could be my phone. Okay, put it back on autofocus maybe. Well, I'm trying to figure out this this focus issue. I do also want to mention it will be 25 in the old world. Yeah, that's right. The bigger bases. Yeah, I know. Crazy. I want to let you guys know that I have written some books online. You can check them out. Yeah, this is 30 FPS. What? You can check them out. I put the link in the description. It's a steampunk military fiction. I had a lot of fun writing it, and the series has a couple more books left to go. I'm not very good at this camera stuff. Like, I remember back when I used to film off of my Canon T2i, always having to work the focus was a little bit of a issue for me. How do I change from 30 FPS to 60? Better for those models that have foot hanging off. Yeah, I know. Empire was notorious for having models that, like, the handgunners and the state troopers, because they're so their poses were like spread, right? Keep the feet shoulder width apart. Autofocus, there we go. Yeah, I apologize again, guys. I'm a one-man studio here. I figured out when I was working on trying to get my tutorials up and going again that my camera is able to go from 30 FPS to 60, and it makes everything so clear and so crisp, and it instantly like snaps the focus right onto what I'm working on. But the this app that I'm using to film my live stream right now is only at 30 FPS. It looks like it's locked it there. Oh yeah, we're good. Thanks, Riz. Riz, is that how you say it? Riz Taylor Wallbank. I hope Mini Boss and Lady Boss is doing good. The baby is sleeping better at night. I think I was just mentioning to everybody else that like we started playing him Bob Ross episodes to go to sleep at night, and that's been an amazing like, not only does it help him get to bed, but it also helps Reese. Okay, thank you, Reese. I don't know if I've asked you that before. Yeah, playing Bob Ross for him has been really good. So you know what, I wanted to paint. I'm gonna do a little bit of painting. I wanted to make this like a full-scale tutorial, but I will make it a little bit simpler. I'm gonna back up so that you can focus a little bit more on what I'm working on. And I'm gonna show you my quick and dirty step for doing batch painting night goblins. I made a video on this years and years and years and years ago. And I found when doing batch painting, like I think a lot of you are going to agree with this, it's really easy when you simplify what you're doing. So I'm going with the base, Raw Flesh, and then my shade is going to be BL Tan Green. Where did I put that thing? Here we go, BL Tan Green, and then I'm going to highlight up first with the best color in the range, War Boss Tay Green, and then a little bit of Scarsnake Green. Now, when you have like a horde of 30, 40, 50 miniatures to go through, you're going to be going quick and dirty, right? So you would have to dry fit your poses into unit to get some unit. Yep, that's right. I would fall asleep too. Mine. So what was I saying? Basically, when you're done with one and you move on to the next miniature to get the same thing, like basically as you're going down the line, your paint dries on the miniature you're already working on. So when you're actually working on a unit, it's better to do one entire thing, base coat, shade, one entire process, rather than do like a base coat for the skin, and then do a base coat for the weapon, and then do, you know what I mean? Because by the time you get to the end of the line, your first paint color is already going to be dry. So you can really feel the progress that you're making by doing it this way. I'm trying this out. I saw somebody use this, Darcy Bono Productions, using a plate, like a paper plate, as a palette. So we'll see. I've never tried it before. War Boss Tay, or not War Boss, but Raw Green, Raw Flesh. Wow, there's nothing like the feeling of putting paint on a model after having such a long break. Kind of sad, because when I go to the Bay Area for Christmas with my family, I don't really have like space to paint. See, look at that. It's such a small amount of surface area to work with. just like that, and you're done. So if I move down the line and I got to the rest of the models, like, and that took me only a couple seconds, right? The face and the hand. So what I can actually do, I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. We're actually gonna paint the rest of the model. I can't batch paint at all. I'm too focused on the individual. Yeah, I completely agree, especially when you're painting something that's not a horde, not like Tyranids. I think Tyranids would be the easiest thing to batch paint because they're just so, you know, they're so, or like Necrons. They're all pretty much similar. Night Goblins, the old skeletons and zombies. But yeah, the more individual troops get, or the more, yeah, like thinking, rational creatures, dwarves and elves, other alien races, the more personality you want to give them. You know what I mean? The more individuality with all of their like uniforms and personality, like you said. All right, let's do lead belcher for the metal. Yeah, see, if I was doing a full-on painting session, which I might do next time we do a live stream, I would be batch painting all of this just to show you how quickly you can go from one, like knock out an entire like process. Like right now, everything's just prime black, but if I was knocking out the skin, face, arm, put it down, get the next one, face, arm, put it down, pick up the next one, face, arm, you could knock out an entire like part of the unit, and then you sit back 5 minutes later and it feels like you actually did something. Otherwise, sometimes I feel like I put in a lot of work to get my progress on a miniature, and then I look back and I'm like, oh great, I got another 49 to paint up. I'm gonna use Skaven Blight Dinge to highlight the black robes. I think it's a really good color. It's got gray, but it's also got a little bit of brown tones to it, or beige, I guess. When I first got back into the hobby, I bought this book called How to Paint Citadel Miniatures Masterclass, and it blew my mind because I thought, oh, these night goblins, you're going to be highlighting black with gray, right? But no, they wanted you to highlight using regal blue, which is the old Cantor blue, like a deep, dark Night Lord's blue. And I just thought that was insane. And then they wanted you to highlight off of that to just bring out the lighter bluish tones. And I was like, why are you highlighting black with blue? And then I thought about it and I was like, oh yeah, it makes it look more rich, and it makes the color look full, like velvet, like a very heavy, thick velvet. Read a Warhammer book to get you fired up. Oh yeah, can't do it to those either. I don't collect them. Way too blue. It's interesting though. I don't think it works with night goblins, but I think highlighting black with blue works maybe for, I don't know, about either the Black Templar or Raven Guard. You want a very deep black that highlights up to blue. Maybe Raven Guard. Yeah, maybe Raven Guard. Or like the Adepta Sororitas, Sisters of Battle. I could see painting their black cloth blue because it's like really rich, thick cloth. I don't know if that makes any sense. All right, let's do some of this yellow color. We're going to do Averland Sunset. But it's a interesting feeling going back to painting this model because it was the first miniatures that I was serious about painting when I got back into the hobby. So do me a favor, guys, if you have any of them, I would highly suggest going and getting out a model from the first army you've collected when you were thinking about really not getting serious about, but putting more of a focus on the painting hobby. And take a minute and just try to put some paint down, because I'm sure we've got some gray unpainted miniatures from your first army in your collection somewhere. Just go and take it out and give yourself the experience of going back and revisiting. It's almost like going back to your old like alma mater and seeing how much it's changed, how much you've changed. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm kind of tripping out right now about how much fun I'm having painting. I'm gonna do a little bit more on belt. And let's leave I'm gonna leave these this little string here. I think before I painted them like red, or I painted like the staff of the spear red, but I want to go for a little bit more of a realistic look for my cartoony night goblins. I said realistic look even though its shield is yellow, and I'm going to just do a gray highlight on this wrapping, whatever this material is. Difference between black is night or black is soot. Yep, gray highlight feels more pale and dirty, dusty, like skeletons. Yep, I agree. I think like iron hands, right? Or like what's another, just like really utilitarian workman black, like the Black Templars. I think they're crusading, not a dirty black, but like a utilitarian black. Where I think the Raven Guard, who's all about stealth and like shadows and stuff like that, and guerrilla tactics and whatever, night fighting, I think they lend themselves more to having a blue highlight on their armor. But I think, you know, you gotta be very sparing with it, and you can't go overboard. All right, working with the Dawnstone now. I'm doing like the complete opposite of what you should do if you want to batch paint miniatures. I'm taking this one night goblin like all the way to completion. I think at this point though, it's really more of a, I'm not really trying to teach anyone anything with this video. I think it's more about me like reconnecting with the joy of painting a single night goblin to what I think is like a pretty good quality standard. High tabletop. Yeah, let's say high tabletop. What I also like about using gray to highlight, guys, is that if you use short strokes, it makes it look more ratty. Like check out how I'm working his robe back here. It looks more like worn and weathered, more like almost like denim if you do like crosshatch. See, like this, instead of following the line down, I'm doing diagonal slashes, especially at the edges where it looks like the material would be frayed. Then if I wanted to, I could do a little bit more, but I think I'm good right there. Yeah. I'm having a great time, guys. I'm redoing the Dao whom are the oldest. Oh, good. And as you can guess, there's a reason I'm repainting for Old World. That's what I mean. Like, Games Workshop is really sitting on like a good little gold mine here with the Old World. I was so bummed that they didn't get together like what they needed to release the Kislev faction. I thought that would have been great. Love painting their beards. Great texture. Yep. And beards make the Dowie. Yeah, I'm afraid I can't really paint a Night Goblin to the standard that I want to, because there's so little to paint. It didn't dry fast enough, so I'm actually gonna have to stop painting because the paint's not dry. We'll do some Aerial Yellow on the shield. So I've got actually a lot of fun stuff to do. I'm going to build up the rest of the racks. I'm going to build up the rest of Jerrion's delegation. And let's see what else I can do to make tomorrow night's live stream just as much fun. Yeah, what's funny is like I didn't think I'd be as entertained by my son as I am. A lot of the time it's just like stress and I feel exhausted and I'm not getting enough sleep. But sometimes it's just so funny, like watching him or listening to him. Like when he wants to do something, right? He'll say like, "Daddy, go do this." Like he'll say, "Go daddy painting," when he wants to come to the garage and hang out. And like he loves to come and see all my stuff so he can like move it around and pick up things. Especially like if I've got my hobby knife out. Oh man, I never make the mistake of having my hobby knife out anymore, because he'll instantly see it and he'll grab it and start like doing stuff with it, right? But he'll say like, "Oh, I want to go daddy painting. I want to go to where daddy paints." And it's like, man, it feels so good. I never thought I would have like a warm feeling of, I always thought like if my kids said, "Oh, I want to go to where you paint," I'd say like, no, this is daddy's stuff. Don't come near daddy's priceless miniatures. But yeah, it's really interesting. And one day he's going to inherit all of this stuff, so he might as well learn at an early age how to paint. What time tomorrow? I don't know, same time probably as tonight. So 3 a.m. my time would be like 10 a.m. Eastern Standard, EST. So how I would paint, how I would highlight the shield. Averland Sunset takes a while to dry, especially over black. I would actually do another coat of Averland Sunset, but I was feeling a little impatient just now, so I did go ahead and I started on Aerial Yellow. What I would do if I was going to do the entire like batch painting squad is I would start with Averland Sunset, maybe get 2 coats of Averland Sunset so that it's nice and smooth and you don't see any black peeking through. Like here you can see the black on the top. But what I would do is once that dried, I don't have it now. I thought I did, but I can't seem to find it. There's a color called Cassandora Yellow. It's a shade or a wash color. And it is really good off of yellow. It has a little bit of a reddish, orange-ish tinge to it, so that when you paint it over yellow, it creates this really nice depth in the spectrum of color. So it gives it a lot of, it darkens it and darkens it down to almost like a orangish yellow. But then it also gives you those shadows like a shade or a wash would do, so you could build it back up. Then leaving that Cassandora Yellow to dry, I would come back first with Aerial Yellow and I would work at the edges, just like how you would normally highlight anything else, work at the edges to define the outline of the shield, the Bad Moon, right? And then the color that's the magical color for orcs and goblins in the old world is Flash Gets Yellow. It is so bright, it looks like an egg yolk. It's so bright, and it's perfect for highlighting up your yellow, but you don't want to use too much of it, or else it's gonna look too cartoony. But if you just use it to outline like the tip of the moon, the nose, the cheeks, the eyebrow, then it's gonna be, that's the best way to do it. I'm soon to be a father as well. It would be lovely to see an interest in minis grow over time. I know, yeah, exactly. And let me tell you, man, nothing anyone ever tells you about being a father is going to prepare you for it. It's going to be the craziest, most difficult time of your life that you wouldn't trade for anything. I remember thinking, like, when I was growing up, like, I don't know if I want kids, and maybe I just want to be a lifelong bachelor, and maybe I'll get married, but I won't have kids because I'll be so focused on my career. It's funny because I used to not make fun of, but I used to think that people who were so focused on their kids and their children and their families were like, oh, they lost their life, right? They don't have a life anymore. But yeah, the beautiful thing about having kids is that they they become your purpose in life to raise them right and treat them well and make them like strong, capable, intelligent, competent creatures that can go forth. I had a interesting thought the other day. Like just 5 generations back. If you think of like 5 generations back, your great-great-great-great-grandfather. Yeah, 5 generations ago. Like they were probably like living their life, right? And thinking, oh, I want to probably have kids and continue the family, the bloodline or whatever. But like it amazes me to think that throughout history, right, like our very first ancestors that had kids that moved like down through the centuries, and everybody was so focused on what they were doing and themselves, and maybe they were thinking, oh, I want to have kids to pass on my knowledge and give them my stuff and let them inherit what I have. Like they don't, like there's no real reason to think 5 generations down the road. You know what I mean? Like my great-great-grandfather probably didn't have any idea that I'd be here talking to you guys painting night goblins at 5 o'clock in the morning. I wonder what they would think of that. But it's funny because you've got the weight of history on your shoulders, right? Like we're the product of, you think of a funnel, and we're the product of millions and millions of years and thousands of years of our family, like moving around and having kids and generations like snowballing, and it leads us to where we are right here. And I think that's like really heavy when you think about, if you believe that your ancestors are like still connected to you through energy or through like ghosts or whatever, their spirits and their ancestor spirits, and like if you imagine everything you do in life, you have your ancestors. Your ancestors got your back. You're never alone because like you're the product of all of their dreams and their inspirations and their hopes for the future. Crazy stuff. All right. They were Smiths. Also, there is great pleasure to be found in sharing your passions with someone that hasn't yet had the opportunity to experience them. That's what the React content is all about. There is meaning to be found in responsibility. Yeah, I think as someone who hasn't really benefited from having like a father figure, learning that being responsible and having responsibility, like I was notoriously lazy throughout most of my life because I didn't want to work, and I wanted to be an actor, and I wanted to make it in Hollywood and New York and Broadway. But once I like stopped being selfish and I started looking for ways to not only improve myself, but to like just get off my butt and help other people and be responsible, take responsibility, like do work, right? Like I realized like, oh, I have a family now. I have a house. I have to maintain the house. Otherwise it's going to fall apart. I can't just like eat cereal And as much as I want to paint miniatures all day and all night, like I have to like take care of my castle. It's interesting how your brain chemistry shifts while I'm talking about painting night goblins. How your brain chemistry shifts into being like the taker, right? The person who is like the mooch and just like siphons off the resources from the people who actually work, to actually like working and being responsible. All right, Scarsnick green is the brightest green we're gonna go, and I'm just gonna use it to highlight cheeks, upper lip, nose, the brow, and the chin. The War Boss Tay live stream. Where else can you get? Engage in deep philosophical conversation about ancestors and history. Wow, painting night goblins and building up weird creepy dudes and scary dami mommies. Sounds like getting married is dangerous, better avoid it. Hey man, that's what I thought. That's what I said. I was like, I don't know if I want to marry this lady boss. Man, I think you just got to find the right person. Dawi grumbling, approving of the ancestry. You find the right person and then it all clicks into place. The funny thing is that we had my son, and I was like, there's no way I want to have kids again. And then my wife is like, I'm pregnant again. And I was like, oh boy. All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's have another kid. And then the doctor's like, you're having twins. And I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Enough talk, more paint. A little bit more Euro yellow. The trick is multiple small thin coats. Yellow is a tricky color. If you've not worked with it, it is very tricky and hard to do. If you haven't painted any Imperial Fists or what else uses yellow? Bad Moons. It's very easy to smudge because you want to cover, especially if you've got like a black primer, you want to cover that up, but you have to be careful. As you add too much to your paintbrush, it gets too thick and gloopy, and you don't add enough, and then it's going to keep thinning out as it goes. Sure, if you're looking for them, I can't seem to find any female Dawi out there. Was it Tolkien or was it Warhammer that said female Dawi are you can't tell the difference between them and the men? All right, tricks with doing eyeballs, especially when you're painting little goblins or Tolkien. Yeah, it was. That's right. The trick is getting the angle right. I found that if you go straight on with the paint when you're painting eyeballs, especially for smaller figures like night goblins, you're going to get them on the eyelids. A lot of them are looking down, so it's easier to paint the reds of the eyes, especially for goblins, if you go from below. Now, it's been a while. It's been many years since I've painted a night goblin, so you all have my permission to laugh if I'm not able to dot this eye. Ooh, them scalpel fingers all over again. All right. Oh, look, I got a little bit of his nose. Oh, lads, I don't know if you remember this, but the old paint scheme was the old color range for Games Workshop. It was so limited that all of their masterclass articles had you mixing the paints together in all these crazy ratios, like 4:1 or 4:3 or 5:16, and a lot of it was bleached bone, adding bleached bone to something to lighten it. And I remember painting goblins. I read this one guide that said, oh yeah, just add bleached bone, keep adding bleached bone, and make it lighter and lighter until you're using just pure bleached bone. Don't even use any green, and use that to highlight. And I thought, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. But if you're making really, really fine, bright highlights, and you're only picking out like the absolute most extreme parts with it, then yeah, I can see the application of bleached bone as a final highlight. See, I'm using Scarsnick green for my final highlight, and it's pretty close, I think. It was a joke, but everyone took it seriously, so he just accepted it. Doesn't seem justified to laugh. Bleached bone was always out of bleached bone. Yeah, I feel ancient now. Bleached bone was the man, that was like the go-to color. Or you want to highlight something, just add bleached bone to the base color. There, you highlighted it. All right, lads, I'm gonna do a little bit of a highlight on the staff, and then I'm gonna call it quits for this one. I think it's a pretty good approximation of what a night goblin should look like. I'm using Carrick stone. I found that when you're using Carrick stone, I found this actually on my painting Deathcore of Krieg. I used like dryad bark, I think, for the rifles, and then I used Carrick stone to make the what do you call it? The lines in wood. Why isn't my brain recalling what that word is? The lines in wood. Then I'm just going back with Rhinox hide. And I am thinning down these lines in the wood. All right, and there you have it. One Night Goblin. Now the thing that I'm missing, like I said, is Cassandora yellow and Flash gets yellow to properly bump up the shield. But you don't have to have much more when you're working with the Night Goblins. I think 2 highlights for the robes is good. Because look at the back here, you can see the difference between the black and then where it moves up to Skavenblight Dinge and then the Dawnstone. Oh, I should paint the back of the belt there. Doing just natural browns. I found that having painted a whole Battle for Skull Pass where the goblins had like these bright red spear shafts and bright yellow bad moons on their shields, bright yellow crescent moon weapons and stuff, bright red wrapping around the spear, I found it to be too distracting. The thing that you want to really pick out is their skin. And doing 3 highlights on the skin, I think, is very appropriate. I don't think you have to go all the way up to bleached bone or, what is it, Screaming Skull now. But I think having a little bit of a highlight to the green skin is going to make it pop out and stand out on the field. All right. Feel like an ancient. That's what I'm looking for, the wood grain. Thank you so much. All right. I remember one time, guys, I painted a horde of Night Goblins. And I don't know if you know how much a horde used to be in 8th edition, 7th edition, but a horde of Night Goblins was 100. And they died so fast. They didn't. I don't think they ever made it to combat, but I remember just thinking like, I want to paint this horde of night goblins. I think that'll be fun. So I collected all the Battle for Skull Pass night goblins from all of my friends and everybody in my local gaming area, and I just went to town. Oh, 40 plus. Okay, yeah, thank you. That's right. The horde definition of a horde in 8th edition was 40 plus, but then I went. Where did I see it? There's a White Dwarf where somebody said, oh yeah, I got 100 night goblins. And I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I did. And I think I took a couple years off of my life painting all of those night goblins. But it was so cool to see on. If you've never seen a horde of infantry on just a giant block of miniatures all painted exactly the same, or like, you know, pretty similarly, I think it's the most amazing thing. And I did it with these night goblins. It barely filled an army. Yeah, you know what, those 100 night goblins like took a little bit of my points allowance, but I think we were playing like a pretty big game, and they didn't do much in the way of the points. I still had to fill it out with a bunch of other stuff. Oh man, see, just thinking about Warhammer Fantasy now, it's making me remember, oh yeah, I had blocks of Savage Orcs, and I had Boar Boys, and I had Chariots, and like Age of Sigmar, from everything I'm reading and seeing, is like a great system, great skirmish game system, but I've never played it, and my fondest memories are from just putting mass amounts of bodies on the field and then just watching the enemy rip them to shreds. All right, what else can we do, guys, while we still got this live stream popping? I have been working on my Greywater, my Greywater fastness. So I'm also building up those. I want to try to paint up those dwarves. I found an interesting thing. This figure, which was a Warhammer Fantasy dwarf character, had a square base that this base slotted on top of. It was like a scenic decorative base, and this oath stone just went right on top of the base. But when they moved over to Age of Sigmar, is this Belegar? They moved them to a round base, but they still include the square base in the kit. Oh, yeah, that's right. What was it? 6 points a goblin. So if you 100, yeah, doesn't do too much. Doesn't take too much. Belegar. Okay, so yeah, so now I've got like this square base just kicking around somewhere with a little bit of rubble on it, and then two holes where this oatstone block should go. Belegar Iron Hammer, and then this cog smith guy. It's funny because, you know, they went the whole steampunk look with the dwarves, with the big contraptions, with the gears and the cogs, which obviously they piggybacked and catapulted onto the carriage-drawn overlords. But these old school dwarves, iron and stone, out of the mountains, like, you just can't beat them. I think they're really, really great. And yeah, I look forward to painting them. Building up a gyrocopter. That looks like a lot of fun. All right. So I've got my homework set out for me. I've got to finish building these racks. I've got to God, she looks so great. I've got to build up the rest of Jerrion's delegation, and I'm also working on doing this Greywater fastness dwarf army, and hopefully get some more night goblins speed painted down. So yeah, what I would like to do is do a session, like a 25-minute session, where I just do like a batch painting for 25 minutes. And if you guys want to hobby along with me, then I'm thinking of doing it separately from these live streams. I think live streams lend themselves more to the interaction and me chatting with you guys, hanging out, working on hobby stuff. But maybe doing some focused sessions where I'm like separate videos where we just say, okay, if you guys want to just purely strictly hobby, I'm gonna put some music on, we'll put a timer on the screen, and we'll just churn out some work and do as much as we can, just focus, laser focus on what we're working on. And then I think that'll be a more productive use of time, because otherwise, if you're just somebody who sees like the notification pop up, oh, Warboss Tia is live right now, okay, I'll check him out, and then you see that I'm like, there's just music playing and I'm painting night goblins, it'd be like, what am I watching? What's going on? Hey, Halfman, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you, and thanks for chiming in and hanging out and interacting. Thanks a lot. And everybody who checks out this stream, it would really, really help me out if you hit the thumbs up on the video and leave a comment. You can chat over here or just hang out. Yeah, we'll do some work. I don't know what to call them. If these live streams are just us hanging out, chatting, and working on hobby stuff, if I do some just focused videos that are like half an hour long, not a tutorial, but just half an hour of let's grind together. Like they have these videos called Study With Me, where you basically just put it on and you just study for that, like the whole time. But I think it would be like a Paint With Me where you just work, right? And most people do that anyway with these videos. But anyways, thanks, Halfman. I'm still workshopping it. We'll figure it out, but it might be fun. You show up at the beginning of the video, everything is, unpainted, unbuilt, and then we'll see what we can do in like a half an hour, an hour time. Put it in the description. Then yeah, I think that might be something I do going forward. And for everybody who's watching this in the future, when the new year comes, I know my life is going to be going crazy. It's already going crazy now with the twins on their way. So I'm not going to be able to stick to any schedule. I'm going to be pretty inconsistent at times, which is like the enemy of YouTube. YouTube wants you to be consistent and post on a schedule, and otherwise the algorithm buries you. But I just want to say thank you for hanging out, and if you can thumbs up my videos and leave comments and all that good stuff, that would really help me out, because I would love to get as much engagement as I can. I ordered these from Amazon. It's a random tangent. When the old world comes, I want my knights charging across like fields that have like freshly fallen leaves. But also I was like, oh, autumn leaves looks pretty good too. You put these on a base because last autumn we had all these yellow leaves fall on our grass was still very green and beautiful. So this might be fun too to use. But I got this on Amazon for only like 14 bucks, maybe 15 bucks. Definitely check out the link that I included if you're into flesh eater quartz though, because going back to Amazon and being an affiliate, that would help me out as well. Okay, I think I'm just rambling now, guys, and I'm probably gonna turn in, let my brain reset, and get ready for the day ahead. I appreciate you guys, and I have those on my Wood Elves Blood Bowl team. Nice. Yeah, especially Wood Elves. I think Wood Elves, more so than any other army, they do really well with like leaf scatter. I think also I found this great AK interactive terrain product that is like moss growth. So you take a little bit of white glue, and I think this would work on any model that has like branches or like bark sculpted on it. There's no really good way to paint like bark and roots and stuff, but put a little bit of this green like leaf fog, when I say fog, green moss cover. I think it'll look pretty good. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it here. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's a very long live stream. I hope you had a good time. I hope you, especially if you're watching it later, after the fact, I hope you check out the Discord if you're not already there already. There's So many great people. There are so many great people there, and we would love to see pictures of what you're working on. See you tomorrow, Ungi, if you can make it work. I'm going to try. Definitely try, Lynx Lord. But I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a great day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and thanks for checking out the stream. Latest, players!